Good afternoon. Happy Friday. Here's your weekly mortgage rate update. See, today, mortgage news daily 30 fixed average is at 6.82% APR. That is basically, we'll call it almost exactly, or basically the same as last Friday, which was at 6.81% APR. Just sideways trading all week in the markets. As far as the interest rates go, let's see, was not expected. There were some inflation numbers that came out. CPI year over year came out at 2.7%. Consensus was it to be at 2.4%. Right, CPI is a consumer price index, which is one measure of the of inflation and that the Fed uses for the economy. The crazy thing is that the 2.7% is higher than last month, which was at 2.4%, meaning inflation's actually going up, which is a conundrum of the markets as far as what's going on. The conundrum comes in because the month over month was actually lower than expected. It was, I think, 2.2%, and the markets were expecting 0.3%. Not a big difference, but like I said, so month over month it's lowering, but the year over year is higher than it was last month. So markets really didn't do anything off that. Then earlier, or the day after CPI came out, then PPI, right? PPI is producer price index. This is inflation at the producer level. And that didn't do anything either. The markets didn't trade on it. There's nothing really expected, nothing that wasn't anticipated for the PPI. So I would say overall, what should not have been a boring week was a very boring week for rates. So what's coming up next week? Again, nothing. Pretty mundane information coming out. The Federal Reserve is going to meet not next week, but the week after, the 29th and the 30th. And that is anticipated that they will keep the Fed funds rate where it is. There is a couple of Fed governors that are pushing for a quarter rate cut at this meeting. All right, Waller and I can't remember the name of the other Fed governor, but they think that if the Fed waits too long, the labor market is going to fall off the edge because it is teetering right now, and that if they wait too long, it's going to hurt. It's going to be really hard to get the labor market back. So, I guess with that information, there is also the continuing jobless claims keep being crazy high, right? So what that means is that people that don't have a job, lost their job for some reason, quit or whatever, are having a really, really hard time finding another job. So that's been happening for quite a while now. I'd say last 6 months at least, and that's the labor stats that those two Fed governors are looking at and trying to push the Fed to lower at this meeting. So we'll see what happens. That's all I got for you. Have a great weekend. A little cold snap here in Montana earlier this week. It was kind of nice. Enjoyed it down in the 40s. But anyway, you can see sunshine's back up in the 80s. Another beautiful, beautiful Montana weekend. So have a great I'm going to say holiday. I wish it was a holiday. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you next week. Thanks.